Welcome back to Basin Motorsports for another day here in the garage. So the question is, did you get a stimulus check? And if you did, where are you going to spend it? Well, as you can imagine, I, like everybody else's schedules, have completely pretty much gone out the window for 2020, at least to this point. So I had a plan that I was going to skip kind of the local car shows. I was going to do a lot of racing this year with SCCA. Who knows where else I was going to end up. I was going to go to a couple good guys and all that. And at this point, I don't know if I'll go anywhere to any show with a car. So I've had this list, and it kind of looks like this. It's a list of kind of those things that if I had some spare time and I had some spare money, that I would kind of fix those nagging little things that carry over parts and this and that. And well, as you can imagine, I have a lot of time and I have a little bit of extra money outside of the stimulus check. So I thought, let's order some parts, some kind of small detail things, and let's get some things done on the Widefox. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of roll up the door here. I'm going to get the Widefox out under the cover. I'm going to back it out into the sun. And let's go over this list. I'll kind of show you where I'm going to spend some of my stimulus check. So with the wide body outside, there are a lot of little nagging things that I've kind of left alone because I really didn't want to tear things apart and I didn't have the time or the spare money. So what we'll do is we'll go over this piece by piece, just kind of show you what I'm thinking, and then I'll have to obviously get some parts together. And then we'll do some install videos in the future. So one of the things that's always bugged me on this back is you can kind of see that ripple that goes right under the tail lamp right here. So you kind of see it kind of goes rippled up and down, and there's an actual support beam underneath the bumper here in the taillights that I need to get replaced. Now beyond this little beam here, one of the other things that I've been thinking about lately has been modifying these taillights. Now the taillights themselves I like, but I would like to kind of experiment with a futuristic Fox body, using this as an example. So I'm going to kind of experiment here a little bit with potentially changing these lights. And what I would like to do is make kind of like an X pattern here over each of the bulbs. So you've got a bulb here, you've got a bulb here. So I may buy some smoke tint that will go over these taillights here and actually make an X pattern. So I'll cut that out and potentially do things to make it more futuristic in that. I think that would be a great option to try. So I may do that in the future. Got to kind of experiment with it, but I think it'll work. Now under the hood of the Widefox is probably where I'm going to spend a good portion of what I'm going to buy outside of the interior. And there's kind of just some small things that I've carried over from past cars and that I've had in the garage that I put in this car that I always thought eventually I would get to them. Those things include taking out and repainting my windshield wiper. That's kind of rusty and black, and what I'd like to do is take it off, strip it, repaint it black, make it nice and in a very good shape. Also, these hood hinges are off that Wild Strawberry 92 that donated the drivetrain. Those need to come off one by one, probably repaint them silver to match the firewall. And I also need to change the rubber cups, I guess you call them, the hood hinge cups behind there. Those things are original 92, they're crusty, broken, they need to come off. I'm also maybe going to look at changing this hood seal. I never put one back on this car. I may actually add one back in there to do that across the top. Another thing I still need to do is change this alternator. This chrome one is a 60 amp. I at least need to go to 130 amp to deal with the headlights and all that I've shown you previously, so that may be added to the list. And I may do some other things in here. I may wrap this chrome intake tube here, may make it body color. I think I have some left over that I may be able to do that, or I'll change it to black, something other than chrome. I'm just not down with the chrome for this car. One thing on the exterior that I never did anything with, it was this vent grill here. You can kind of look down in there and see that it's broken in the center. And I just hadn't decided if I was going to actually buy a new one or I was going to try and fix this one, which would require a little bit of a plastic work, some filler, and then some paint, which I have the SEM paint to match like the mirrors in that. So it would match. I'm just not sure if I want to do that or I should just break down and buy one. I'm not sure yet. What do you think? So there's a couple things on these doors I wanted to fix. Again, I don't really want chrome on this car, so a couple things I do need to fix. These armrests here are the originals, and you can see they are starting to get, oh, they're just breaking down. They're done there. So I'm gonna have to look for some new of these. I'd like to change those window clamps, or the window cranks I should say, to black. And then obviously I need to change these bezel cups out there. Need to get rid of those. That one is actually old. It broke and I need to get that replaced. You can see the kick panel. It is a silver gray color and not black. Well, those came off the 92. So I actually have the pair. You can see the other one over here. And that one, that is a titanium gray. Those need to be black. So I'm gonna buy a new set of those. And then one thing you can also see that my door strikers have no bushing on them. My doors are extremely hard to close and I want to get new bushings here, so I'll get those out, take these off, replace those, and keeping fingers crossed, the door closing effort is actually going to go down significantly. Otherwise, well, I'm gonna have to do something different. So now when I put in the roll bar from Basin Motorsports that I have sitting in the garage, I bought that on a Black Friday special. I will probably change the seat belts. So these are the original black 1980 seat belts. They're not great. I mean, they're only good for what, 5 years before they say you replace them. These things are 40 years old, so they need to be replaced. So I'll probably be putting in, probably do a set of 5-point harnesses initially, and at least put in 4 pieces, with a 4 without the submarine belt. Those will go in with at the same time with the roll bar. That way they are fresh, and I'll work on a little bit on the rear seat, probably change the rear speakers, the 6x9s in the back, deck in there, and I'll probably put in a new radio that I have in the garage. Just kind of waiting for time to go. Otherwise, not a lot going on there. Sunroof latch and a coat hook. I'm missing a coat hook for whatever reason, so I need to get another one of those. So outside of that, I'm still also working on 86s right here. Still got the engine all apart. Probably get a new water pump for it and maybe a couple more pieces, but I'm not buying a lot ahead of time until I need to on the 86. Reason is, I'm not exactly sure all that I need. It seems like every time I take something apart, I go to put it back together, I find that I want to do something different with it. So like the V6, it all came apart, but then I realized I had to put a helicoil in it, which is done now, but then I'm like, I'll just get a new water pump for it, and then it just seems like it never stops. So I'm still working on it piece by piece, and I'll probably have a big video on it out in a couple weeks from this one, just kind of outlining what I've done. I'm kind of nibbling at it in the evenings, so hour or two here, so it's not a lot of progress. But if I can wrap that all in one big video, it'll seem like I've done a lot in a short time, which I haven't. So with that short little list, it seems like it keeps evolving, but it's not going to spend a lot of my money on the stimulus check there. So outside of that, basically I'm going to take everything else and I'm going to hoard it. Always got property taxes due in the fall. It seems like every vehicle that we have needs tags this year, and tags have gone up. So I'm trying to hoard that back to pay registration for tags on everything, though it seems like I can't ever get this car out of the garage to go drive somewhere. Needs still keep it legal, keep some insurance on it, and of course we have plenty to do on here with the farm, with buying hay, and getting fencing up and everything else. So the list of things that need money never seems to, I guess, get any shorter. So I'm hopefully get this out in a couple weeks, go out and do some driving, get all those action cameras out and do some suspension stuff and all that. But we'll see where we get to. But that is it from this time from Basin Motorsports. Question is, did you get a stimulus check? What are you spending it on? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know what everybody else is spending their money on. For me, well, it's mostly going to be bills, which is terrible, but that's the way it is. We'll see you next time. Basin Motorsports, out.